I'm Elliot Reeves, this is Neil Shorey Mack, and you're watching The Elliot Reeves Show. Neil, my friend, how are you?
I'm brilliant. Thanks so much for having me.
It's an absolute pleasure, my friend. I came across you relatively recently through the gentleman who probably gets the most amount of plugs on this show out of anyone, our friend Create Greg. So you can thank him at some stage for being here.
Absolutely great guy. He's so talented as well. I actually met up with him a couple of weeks ago, and we were just going to have like a half-hour coffee. Then we ended up speaking for 2.5 hours.
It's so easily done.
Yeah, no, he's a great guy to riff off of on anything creative.
Yeah. I like at that point I didn't realize that you were the brains behind the SFN Expo, which I mean I know of well. It's a huge Scottish event for health and fitness. So I mean we'll dig into that, but before we do, I mean, if you just want to introduce yourself, maybe your elevator pitch bio, who you are, I'd love to hear it.
Yeah, well, most people would see me as a digital marketing consultant and coach, but unlike a lot of digital marketers, I'm not a digital marketer turned business owner, very much the other way around. Started off by creating businesses, and I learned digital marketing as a necessity to get through those really tough first few years of being in a business that everybody experiences. So starting SFN Expo, for example, there was no investment there. There was no family money. There was no savings on my part. I was just at a university. It was going to cost hundreds of thousands of pounds to put on the event. And I went about it what Business Gateway said to me was the most stupid way to start a business of all time, which was which was to sign all the contracts, commit to the whole show and all the outgoings, and then go and try and sell stands and tickets to pay off those contracts.
Eesh, okay.
Which is the ultimate bootstrapping way of doing any type of business.
Yeah.
But through that, I thought I had that same thing that everybody else does of build it and they will come, because what a great idea this is, and there's nothing like this in Scotland, and everybody's going to want to come to this. And then you realize that it's not quite like that. You're going to have to do some pretty special stuff to get thousands of people to come through the door, to get brands to travel the length of the country from most of them being down in London, for example, travel the length of the country, pay for their staff, pay for hotels, pay for food, then pay for their stand, then pay for product. It's a big expense for them. So it wasn't as easy as I was expecting it to be. And a few months down the line, the debt collectors had already started coming in.
Really?
Just committing to paying deposits and not having the money there as I was expecting it. I quickly realized at that point that, and this is sort of what I live by now, is wherever you are now and where you want to be in the future is nothing more than learning and implementation. So there's a skill that you don't know, and then you have to go and implement it, and then you can get to your desired outcome.
Yeah.
And for me, that was online marketing. I was very aware that online marketing was an excellent tool for businesses. I was already interested in it anyway. I was interested in social media, and we had already started to do that sort of stuff at that stage with SFN anyway. We started using Twitter mainly, and using Facebook as well. And we started booking speakers and using them as almost like influencers, even though it was like 8 years ago before people were really talking about influencers, I guess. But that was sort of our marketing strategy. But then I would spend all my evenings on YouTube and on Google just searching for best ways to market a show, or best ways to do this, best ways to make more sales, best way to increase conversions. And I was just learning. And then my daytime would be implementing. So it was just learning and implementing every single day. And that's how we ended up going from it being so in debt to growing the business every single year, and then ultimately having it acquired by the country's biggest events company 5 years down the line.
That's crazy.
But it's made, I would say it's made life a lot easier for me by making that distinction. Like even in fitness now, I'm like, I would rather pay somebody who knows the skill better than anybody else to fast track my way to getting better at it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so not just in business, but everything is
Mm-hmm.
nothing more than learning from somebody who's already walked the path, and then not just getting that dopamine hit of I'm learning from this person and they've been there before, but actually taking what they're telling you and implementing it.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally.
And for me, that's everything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So when you started out originally, why did you want to put on this massive expo, and what was the vision for it at that time?
Well, I was just out of university. I had done sport and exercise science as a degree, for no other reason other than the hires that I had got at high school would only really let me into that course.
Right.
So
Okay.
I didn't have enough qualifications to do anything that I particularly wanted to do. I had like PE,
Yeah.
like those types of ones that typically boys like get most of their grades in. So like I had like two or three hires at like B's and C's, and I tried to get into a few different unis. I didn't even get into Aberdeen Uni, but ended up phoning them up. You know how you can afterwards and say, is there any spaces available? So like when your
Yeah. Like
results come in,
clearing.
yeah.
Yeah.
So like I
Yeah.
went through clearing, and got into that, and so I always wanted to run businesses, even from like a really young age. Like made some sales in like primary school. I would spend my weekends working, picking wilks on the shore, and then selling it to the fish market at night. Like I was always quite entrepreneurial
Mm-hmm.
when I was
Mm-hmm.
young. Always wanted to do business, and I think even my parents and I think loads of parents are like this. Like when they want security and they want the best for their kids, it's go to university, go to higher education.
Yeah.
Whereas I just wanted to start businesses, so I was kind of like, well, it'll be fun anyway. So
Mm-hmm.
I'll go to university for the fun aspect and networking and getting to know people. I just went there and started up club nights.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I just started like that sort of thing of working all the time, and yeah, and that was my focus in university, was not really going to university, it was running club nights. And I was the Aberdeen event manager for a nightclub that's I think it was in Edinburgh as well. It was definitely in Glasgow, Octopussy.
Right.
So
Okay.
I was the event manager of that when I was like 18 or 19, and it gave me experience of running events.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I finished university, I was like, right, I just want to run businesses.
Yeah.
I want to create businesses, and I had that thing of anywhere where I saw an opportunity, it was right, I need to get home and write this business plan. And it was things I had no experience in whatsoever. So
Mm-hmm.
I had different food trucks, and I had like all like things I have no basis or reasoning
Yeah.
why I would ever be at the front of that business ever.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was like 1 o'clock in the morning one night. I was writing a business plan for something else, and my flatmate at the time said, why do you write all these random business plans when there's two things that you know well, and that's the fitness industry and events?
Okay.
And I was like, you know what, you're right. And at 1 o'clock in the morning, I did a quick Google search. I was like, biggest fitness event in the UK, and Body Power came up,
Mm-hmm.
and I'd never heard of it at that point. So I saw that. I was like, right, this looks huge. I really like the setup of it. I was like, who's running the Scottish one? And then there was nobody. So I was like, okay, right, I'll run the Scottish one then. Who's running the biggest events in Scotland? QD Events came up. So I went on their site, went to the Contact Us page, and I said, I'm 21 years old, I think I was at the time. I'm looking at running a big event in the SECC in Glasgow. I would love to take the MD for a coffee and pick your brain
Seriously?
for a couple of hours. They got back in the morning, arranged the coffee for that afternoon. I went down, I spoke to them, and yeah, for maybe 3 or 4 months, every couple of weeks, they would just have a coffee with me, talk me through different things, put me in the right direction. So very much like mentorship
Yeah.
through that first year. And funnily enough, it was them that ended up acquiring the show 5 years later.
Yeah, I need to ask you a question here, and I really don't wish this to sound in any way disparaging, but I can only relate to what I was like at 21. And so when you were, doing that, was that, were you just like supremely confident and really good at visualizing and a kind of business mind, or was it like a bit of naivety at that age to think that you could just like create the biggest? I mean, you went on to do that, but were you aware of the challenges and the difficulty that would come with doing that?
I think yes to both.
Okay.
I was very naive in different things. I remember even trying to like sound cool in the first meeting, and I was like, yeah, I know that the event venue is going to be like 10 grand, and like just trying to seem so cool, even though I've got like minus £2,000 in my student overdraft. Yeah. And then they were like 10 grand. No, it's going to be a lot more than that. I was like, what?
Really?
I was like, it's a concrete floor. That's all it is at the moment.
Yeah.
How can it be more than that? And it turns out it is significantly more than that.
Yeah.
But for good reason as well. It's the event venue. It's the marketing streams that you get off of the back of it. It's even the fact that I could use in the first year in the biggest event venue in Scotland. Like even like that one sentence helped with selling the first year of stands.
Of course. Yeah. I'm just going to bring your mic up a little bit, mate. You don't tend to see this stuff on Rogan, but...
Oh, good.
Just switch right. Because Joe's always like a fist away from your mouth.
Yeah, he's always saying that to people, isn't he?
Always. Not so close that it's in your beard, but close enough that...
That's it. Perfect.
Nice and clean audio. Try and
nice.
Fall back into my chair with some dignity. There we go.
One fist away.
Fist. Sweet. So no, I just like, if I was like thinking again of myself when I was 21, there was no way that I would, I don't know, I wouldn't know where to start, and just probably be full of like limiting beliefs and all that sort of stuff, but you just had like the conviction to go for it.
I've always been convinced that like I can sort of do anything.
Really,
until somebody else proves me wrong that I can't. So I've always had that sort of confidence around business. It's not really a confidence in myself. I just think anybody can do anything.
That's such a great core belief.
Yeah.
When did you first get that, that confidence? What was it that instilled that in you?
Definitely parents and grandparents.
Yeah.
That just like a house with like so much love, and everybody's so encouraging all the time. My mum's very much of the same mindset as me, that anybody can do anything type thing, and so being around that person all the time, like it made it very easy for me to think that way. Like I was very convinced when I was younger that I was going to play for Man United, even when I was like 13 years old and like hadn't made it to like semi-pro Scottish football. Like I was convinced that I could still do it. It's a ridiculous thing when I look back at it.
It isn't though, because like somebody has to.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Wow. Mate, I'm seriously, it's crazy. It's super impressive. So what were the steps that you took in actually, building it up and creating it to what it ultimately became?
Well, halfway through the first year, or maybe even before halfway through the first year, I actually ended up bringing on a business partner who is now my brother-in-law as well.
Okay.
And so for 3 years we ran it together as a team. So we never ever brought in any staff. Even after Jamie left the business, we still didn't bring on any staff.
Seriously?
Yeah. I think that's one of my own issues in business though, is that I hate delegating anything. I just like doing everything.
Yeah.
So that's my own fault for that. It's certainly not a strategy that I'm pitching to anybody.
Yeah.
Like I know very, very much that for myself at the moment, I'm already trying to delegate more tasks, and the way that I look at tasks is something that I learned down at an event in London about a year ago, which is looking at everything as £10 tasks, £100 tasks, and £1,000 tasks. £10 tasks is something that wouldn't cost much to outsource it. It's something that the majority of people could do. £100 tasks are skilled tasks that would cost a little bit more to outsource them, and then £1,000 tasks are the ones that you're indispensable for, and they're the ones that only you can do to drive your business forward. And the aim of the game is to delegate from the bottom, and not just in your business. So even things like a £10 task could be cleaning your house, cleaning your flat, and it could be delegating that to a cleaner. So that you bring in more time so you can focus on the £100 tasks, and then you are delegating those out to the point where you're only focusing on those £1,000 tasks that only you can do within the business. I mean, like, for example, in my own business as a digital marketing consultant, and a lot of it now is around personal brand. I mean, for like 5 years, I didn't have a website. The business was 100% word of mouth. It would be get a great result for a client. I wouldn't have to ask them. They would just tell other people who were business owners, oh, we use this guy. And then I would end up with a bigger waiting list. So it was
Really?
it was a very easy thing from that point of view.
Yeah.
But
And were you doing that, I was going to say contemporaneously, it's maybe a bit over the top. Were you doing that simultaneously? So whilst you were doing SFN Expo, you were also digital marketing?
yeah.
And at what point did those things intersect?
So it was just after the first event, and just in conversation, I love talking about business. I love talking about marketing. And so I would just bring it up in conversation to people. A lot of the exhibitors would be very confused when they realized that the person that had sold them the stand was actually 21 years old and weighed about 7 stone at the time. Like, honestly, I lost about 4 stone in that first year. Yeah.
Jeez.
So
That's stress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they'd be very confused that I was running the show with Jamie, and so they would be like, how did you do it? How did you kick this off? And I would always say, oh, well, we actually didn't do any advertising anywhere other than social media. And so we did social media content. We used influencers by creating 2 stages, booking a load of speakers for free, but then using their networks to spread the word of the show, and then Facebook ads and Instagram ads. Well, not Instagram ads at that point, it was Facebook ads only. And that's all that we did. And that got the very first client in the door, because one of our exhibitors was in conversation a few weeks later with somebody who was opening up a big gym in Glasgow. And they phoned me and said, so-and-so said to get in touch with you because you'd be the guy to speak to about a digital marketing strategy for our gym launch. And I was like, right, yep, I think I could do that. And then they said, oh, and what's your day rate? I was like, mate, I don't even know what a day rate is. How do you quantify a day rate for something like this? I have no idea. So I was like, can I just quote you for the project? And they were like, yeah, you can quote. So then I went back to my friend, the exhibitor, and I said, what should I be charging them? I don't know what you charge for this type of thing. And he actually said like quite a high rate. So I was like, okay, pitched the high rate. They were like, done, cool.
Really?
Yeah. And they said, right, the budget for the Facebook ads is £4,000 spend. And I said, oh, okay, right, yeah, I think I can do something with that. And so we were starting with, like, I was creating the Facebook page, the Instagram page. There was no audience there at all. It was a 100% Facebook ad strategy.
Okay.
And created the page, got a promo video of, it was like, I don't want to use the animated. I was about to call it a cartoon. Animation of what this gym was going to look like, because it wasn't completely built yet, and it was like a building site. So to sell memberships before we could open, we had to use animation, and we put out this video. And long story short, 7 weeks later, we had spent the £4,000, and we had £298,000 of membership sales in before the doors opened.
What?
And I didn't have a personal brand. I didn't talk about the fact that I did this type of stuff. I wasn't documenting as I went. They just went and told other people. And it just very, very quickly took off from there. So straight after the first show, and for the next 4 years of running SFN, I was simultaneously running digital marketing campaigns for different clients. And that was Facebook ads, social media marketing, email marketing, website audits, and conversion tactics, etc. Yeah, and that was it. So yeah, they overlapped for the majority of the time I was actually running the show.
Mm-hmm. Wow. I've been on your website. I've looked at your prices. They're not cheap.
No, they're not. But the funny thing is, it's like it's all relative.
Exactly.
It's like some people will come to me and say like, oh, I want you to run my Facebook ads. I've got a budget of £200 a month,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like my time with the demand now is just almost like quantified as like an hourly rate, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
And so the same hour that I could spend creating the same Facebook ad for somebody who's willing to spend £10,000 a month,
Yeah.
it's very easy for my fee to be like a rounding error to that client, but to be like 20 times what you're willing to spend on Facebook ads for another client. But setting up the Facebook ad is probably the same.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably a similar Facebook ad. The only difference is that, or at the part where it says budget, I'm switching it from £200 to £10,000.
Yeah, absolutely. No,
A little bit more intricate than that, but it's not too far off of that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the same amount of time spent. You're just a different level of spend to other companies.
Yeah, I'm with you. Well, I desperately want to cover all of the sort of digital marketing, social media stuff. I enjoy chatting about that. But we'll sort of wrap up the SFN Expo chat as well. So, I mean, looking back on it now, I mean, what things would you have done differently?
So much stuff.
Is that right?
100%. Like I said this the last couple of years throughout like running SFN Expo in year 4 and year 5, I was like, I wish I knew what I knew now for when I was starting in the first year. Yeah. And that's the same as anybody. I mean, like in 5 years' time from now, and say like my personal branding stuff and my 16-week digital marketing program, all that stuff is built around a personal brand. It's like a new business.
Yeah.
In 5 years' time, with 5 more years of experience in the game, I will 100% wish I knew what I knew, what I know down the road. I wish I knew it now.
Yes. Yeah.
So, albeit that I'm coaching people now, and that's my main focus, I'll still be a much better marketer in 5 years from now. So it's that type of thing. And with SFN Expo, I just would have tripled down on the things that were working a lot more than trying to find new ways to grow the business. So, for example, whenever somebody is coming into the program or I'm just chatting to somebody like this, I'm usually like trying to figure out what they're trying to do with their marketing. And what usually is happening is they've got a few things that work really well or have worked really well, but they're desperate to find another golden nugget. And so they're wasting all their time on looking for a new way to grow their business where they could triple down on the things that are already working for them. And so when I already knew that influencers worked amazing for SFN Expo, and I was trying to find new ways of using email marketing and Facebook ads and this, that, the other, I would have been tripling down on things like influencers. Because they wanted to come to the show for free because it was personal branding for them to be on a stage, but they also wanted to promote that they were there because it's, again, good personal branding to their audiences. It was a great way to get mass awareness of the show, sell a lot of tickets, and it was costing us nothing. But I don't feel bad saying that.
It's like the fire festival.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't feel bad saying that because it was an excellent thing for them as well, for that personal brand to be on the stage and to be on the posters and to be positioned as headliners. All that stuff is really good for them.
Yeah.
A lot of the time, anybody who is trying to grow their business actually only needs to look at what's working right now and double or triple the frequency of which they do it. Like I've got this Instagram poll strategy that I talk about all the time, and I actually bring it up all the time over and over again, sharing other people's results with it, because I'm like, why aren't you just all doing this? Loads of people are like, wow, and they'll message me and they'll be like, that's such a cool strategy, it's so easy. And I know they're not actually doing it. As well as the people who are sending me the results, I always need to remind them, that isn't game over for you. You can do it again.
Hmm.
And the Instagram poll strategy is you go onto Instagram, you go into your stories, and then you ask a leading question. A personal trainer might say, what do you struggle more with? Losing weight or building muscle? And it's just 2 buttons. It's so easy. People don't know they're opting in for anything here. They are just notifying you that they have an issue here. They are struggling to build muscle or they're struggling to lose weight. And they're just hitting the button just because it's there. But they're notifying you of that. And then after 24 hours, you can go into your poll and you can see who hit each of them.
Yeah.
And so you can conversation start with them saying, thank you so much for engaging with the poll. It really helps me know what type of content I should be producing for everybody. If you don't mind me asking, what do you think is stopping you building muscle? Do you think it's your sleep? Do you think it's your training? Do you think it's your nutrition? What do you think it is? And then it's a conversation starter that could lead to giving them a free session, that could lead to somebody who becomes a client with you for 5 years down the line. And the results that people are getting off this in all different types of things, from selling ebooks to selling £1,400 personal training courses, are exceptional. And what I usually need to remind people is you don't have to put the same question up every time. You could be doing this every single day, asking a different question, and you just don't do the strategy with people who have engaged with your other polls.
So
Totally. When new people engage with you with a different type of question, so it might be the next day that you ask, what do you struggle more with, your nutrition or sleep? Like something that's different, but it can lead back to what it is that you do. And it's another way to engage different people who have different issues that you can probably solve. And it's free. It's 100% free.
That's awesome, man. That's brilliant value. Like, I appreciate you sharing that. I can't remember the exact. I should have remembered actually. But on your Instagram, it says something about like you're not vanity driven. You're results driven. Which I think is awesome, because I think so many people today, when they're looking at other people that've got personal brands or with their own ambitions, so often it's about like followers. It's superficial metrics rather than actually what is this delivering. I think that's huge.
100%. And I think this is my sort of USP in the market with digital marketers is a lot of people go into digital marketing because they've either studied marketing at university or they're a data-driven type person. And so it's like a logical thing for them to go into. And they're then telling people how to run businesses, having not been through the different struggles that actually come with running a business. It's not just the marketing side of things. And I just think back to the first couple of years of SFN and how tight money was at that point, actually negative in money at that point, and understanding that every single penny spent needed to have a return. And so when you're in that position, you don't get silly with other people's money. Like you know the value of every penny spent. You know the value of every minute spent as well. So even giving out free strategies, you're very cautious of, is this something that is easy to implement in a very short space of time that will generate leads or sales? And in the same way, when it comes to Facebook ads, it's how do you quantify that this is definitely profitable, and then scaling for the objective. A lot of people scale to get more clicks on the website, more video views, those types of things. So they'll want to brag to clients how much website traffic they've brought them, but they won't want to talk about how much money has come into the business. So you can have 3 different adverts that are running, and one of them could have 10 pence clicks to the website, but it's generating no sales. Then you could have one that is very similar, that's £5 per click, but it's generating for every click an average of £25 of sales. So it's a 5x return. So in that sort of scenario, the only thing that I would be scaling is where the actual results are coming in for the business. So that's money in versus money out. And that's all I focus on.
Gavin Bell will probably hate me for asking this question. How much of Facebook ads do you think is actual science versus just kind of, like wading through mud, trial and error type stuff?
There's a lot of trial and error at the start of any campaign, but I say a lot. There's like you might try 4 different audiences, and then try 3 adverts per audience.
Mm.
And then what you're looking for is which audience performs best and which advert within that audience performs best.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's almost giving you like 12 chances
Yeah, so you're
to
trialing
find the best one.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And then you're going to scale the ones that perform the best. So you might have £5 on each of those 12 adverts that are going out. And in the end, you might be pushing all of that budget to 1 or 2 adverts across all of those.
Mm-hmm.
And just almost turning off the adverts that don't work. So when it comes to the science thing, it's a lot easier than people think, especially because Facebook are trying to make it so. They're trying to make it incredibly easy for people to get real results with Facebook ads. So the user interface is easier than ever. Their ability to get you the result that you're asking them to get is getting a lot easier. So it costs more to get in front of people now, but they've got 2 or 3 times better at getting you the result that you want. So it can kind of even out if you're still good with Facebook ads.
Yeah.
There's people in my program who, Paul's in his 50s. When he phoned me about joining the program, he labeled himself as a dinosaur and said, I hate this stuff. I don't want to look at it, but I know I need to do it. And I was like, oh man, this is a brand new program, Paul. I love you, and I really want to help you, but man, is this going to be like an absolute sinker here? And he joined the program, and I tactically don't let anybody get to the Facebook ads module to module 7.
Okay.
So they've got to go through business and marketing fundamentals, content marketing, email marketing, copywriting, all these things, all these systems that amplify what you actually do with Facebook ads. Because everybody just wants to skip to Facebook ads.
Yeah.
Everybody joins the program for Facebook ads. Most of them end up getting results with their business and Facebook ads before they actually get there, just by asking questions in the group and attending the weekly lives.
Yeah.
Paul's probably made about 30k from about £1,500 spend.
Wow.
Already, just from he first of all attended one of the lives where somebody else had posted an advert they were about to post, and I said, right, for the first half hour of the weekly live this week, I'm going to deconstruct this whole advert and tell you what's good about it, what's bad about it, how I would tweak it to get the best results. He took all those notes and applied it exactly to his Facebook advert. He then asked one question in the group about who to target, and then he just let it run. And he's just been duplicating the same advert, changing things slightly when it's a different offer, a different price point, and it just brings in the results over and over again.
Yeah.
And that's how easy it can be now. It's just having that little bit of a nudge in the right direction as to what you should be doing.
Yeah.
Because Facebook are so good at getting you the right results anyway. If you tell them you want people to message your page, they're going to find the right people in your audience who are most likely to message your page. If you tell them that you want website traffic, they're going to find the people who are most likely to become website traffic.
Yeah.
So if you know what you want out that advert, you've got a little bit of direction from somebody like myself who says, like, no, you don't want that type of image. You want this type of image for this reason. You want to change this headline because it's not going to stop anybody in their tracks. You want it to be thought-provoking, like those types of little changes. That's the only nudges that you need.
Yeah.
And just like I'm saying that I nudge them in the right direction, all you need to do with Facebook ads now is nudge Facebook in the right direction.
Yeah.
Because they can find the right people anywhere. Sometimes some people are seeing results with zero targeting.
Seriously.
So they just create a nice advert. They tell Facebook what they want: conversions, website traffic, video views.
Yeah.
And then they're doing zero targeting, maybe location based or something, but it's still broad, and just letting Facebook go and do its thing.
Yeah.
And sometimes it works incredibly well. Not always, but a lot of the time it is. And it's always something to test now.
Yeah.
Like when you're doing your lower level testing, it's a great thing to do that zero targeting and see how it gets on.
Awesome. So what are some of the like products and services that you're now offering yourself?
Well, it was that thing. So I had like 13 or 14 clients whilst running SFN Expo in the last year before I sold it. And at that point, I was so stretched. No time for friends, no time for family, no time for my fiance. It was so stressful as well. And I still had people coming to me every day asking, can you run my Facebook ads? Can you run my Facebook ads? And for me, especially if I knew the person, I always worried what their alternative was. Are you going to pay huge prices to an agency who aren't actually going to go and get you results? Are you going to do what I did, which was throw a lot of stuff against the wall and see what sticks for a few years until you get good at it? And at that point, I was like, I need to build something where I can teach people at scale. And so what I did was I created the 16-week digital marketing program. It's 8 video-based modules. So unbelievably easy to follow. So if it's mindset sort of strategy, I'll be speaking to camera. If it's like Facebook ads, it's a screen recording. I'm in the corner, so you can see me as I'm going through things, but I'm showing you my Facebook ad accounts.
Right, okay.
And I'm showing you how I run Facebook ads. So people can just copy and paste exactly how I run my ads.
How's the course delivered? Like, where is it uploaded to?
So it's actually on WordPress, it's Optimized Press, and it drip feeds it. So there's 8 modules. It's drip fed over the first 8 weeks.
Do people receive it into their email inbox like that way?
They get a notification, but they've got a login. It's like a membership site. Cool. Yeah. So they log in. They can see which modules they have access to now. They can fire through all the videos. The videos will vary from like 1 minute long to like 5 minute long typically. So they're in small chunks, really easy to absorb. Every single one has action points, and then every module has downloadable worksheets. So you don't just do the learning, you quickly have to turn it into implementation. Learning what I had learned myself about that learning and implementation thing, that if they don't implement it, nothing's going to happen. They can say, yeah, it was a really nice course, the business didn't really move, and it'll be because they didn't implement anything. So I make sure that implementation is a really big part. People screenshot their worksheets, put it into the membership group. We all dissect their worksheets together. And then in the group's really active. People ask questions every day, really specific to their own business, which is what I encourage. And then every Wednesday at 8 p.m, I do a live. So I'll do one this evening, and it'll be like an hour and a half, however long they want me. If they wanted me for 4 hours, I'd stay on for 4 hours. But I got a video testimonial from Neve yesterday, and she said in the video testimonial that she would sign up for the program if there was no videos. So she would sign up and pay $9.97 just for the group.
Right, okay.
Because she'd got so much value out of it. She signed up because she wanted to learn Facebook ads. She hasn't got to the Facebook ads module yet, and she said she's already made £10,000 of revenue that they wouldn't have made otherwise.
Jeez.
The very first month that she joined, they doubled their online sales, and that's maintained so far, and they haven't done any advertising yet. So that's the sort of the breakdown of the program.
So what happens when people sort of graduate from it, so to speak?
Well, we haven't got to that stage yet because it's about 3 months into it being live.
Okay.
And also anybody who signs up initially gets 52 weeks instead of 16. So it'd be a full year.
So they pay the $9.97 and that's for 12 months?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So they get access to all the modules, any updates, but then they also get 365 days of accountability in the group. They can ask any questions. They can, if they're about to launch an advert, they can screenshot it, put it in the group, ask for any tips to tweak it. People quite often put in their website, sales pages, and ask for advice on how to make it any better. So it's the accountability thing that's the big one.
Yeah.
People get a lot from being able to ask questions that are really specific to what their issue is right now, as opposed to going through an email marketing module where they don't have any email system set up yet.
Yes.
But even the email marketing module, for example, the very first video is setting up your free email account.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
An hour and 20 minutes later, you have automated emails set up for when somebody abandons cart,
Yeah.
or if they purchased 30 days ago but haven't made a purchase since, they'll get this specific email.
Yeah, yeah. So it's not a standalone sort of tribe or community, and it's not a standalone course, as it were. It's like a fusion of both.
Yeah.
That's really cool. That's quite avant-garde, I think, because most people do kind of one or the other.
Yeah.
Whereas you brought them both together. That's cool. How did you go about finding people that would buy into it, would buy into you?
The sort of same as usual that I suggest to people, which is go for your lowest hanging fruit first.
Yeah.
And that's the people that you know, I guess. But even that, I didn't have any sort of personal brand because I hadn't been talking about digital marketing really.
Yeah.
The odd time, I mean like once every 2 or 3 months, I might share a Facebook ad account that I'm working on, just as like Instagram story, like a wee throwaway comment about it. And people would then message me and ask me if I would run their ads, but it's not what I wanted at the time anyway because I couldn't take anybody on.
Yeah.
So I wasn't motivated to create a personal brand around this.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, all right, I'm going to have to create a personal brand around this whole thing and get out there more.
Did you want to do that?
I did want to do it, but not from like a personal standpoint. I actually like the most motivating thing ever is having somebody message you about how something you told them changed their business, their life, or a mix of the two. And like I get zero emotional feeling when somebody pays me $9.97.
Seriously? Really?
No feeling whatsoever. And that's coming from somebody who has not come from money in the slightest.
Yeah.
Money has like that, but that's the way that I've been brought up. My mom and dad are religious, and like it was sort of instilled in us that like money shouldn't be your god. and therefore for me,
what a great attitude.
Yeah,
man.
like I've never cared about money. I never had money for years. Like I was always like in debt and like university student debt, and then also coming out and going straight into starting a large business.
Yeah.
And so I went through years upon years of always eating out of the reduced section of Tesco, not what you like, but what you can afford. And so for me, I sort of felt rich the very first time I got to the stage where I was earning like £1,000 a month.
Yeah.
And the rest of it doesn't really matter to me. Like I'm not motivated by cars or expensive watches or anything like that. Of course, those things are lovely, and they're great, but they hold no significance to me.
Yeah.
But when somebody messages me about the results they're getting by something that's in the program or something that they took from even a free video or my own podcast, I'm like, this is so good, and I'm buzzing, and I'm like, I'll like run through and I'll tell Adrian, I'm like, look at this, this person's made all this money from this thing, or that sort of thing gets me hyped up.
That's awesome. Like I know actually the flip side of the coin. I know firsthand that having every material possession going, watches, cars, the lot, doesn't give you a sense of deep inner fulfillment.
Yeah.
You know, like you're absolutely spot on.
You hear that all the time.
Yeah,
from
totally,
people.
Yeah,
and I'm very trusting of people who are further down the line from me. And if somebody says that that's the case and I see it from quite a few people, I go, right, I'm probably going to hold on to the notion I've got about money myself.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that I won't like buy those cars or anything in the future, but I also think that like if I buy like a dream car for myself,
which would be,
I actually just love Range Rover Sports, and I love Porsche 911s as well. Aston Martin Vanquish when I was actually into cars when I was like 12. I always thought that was incredible.
Yeah.
So like those things would be incredible, but I genuinely think that if I ever purchase them, I'll be too embarrassed to post that I've just purchased them. So I won't ever use it.
You're like Ty Lopez.
Yeah,
here's me with my new Vanquish.
You know that digital marketing thing of like anybody who goes into digital marketing and they're like posing in front of cars that they've just walked past in the street as if it's their own.
Yeah.
Like I'm so on the polar opposite that if I buy a car like that, in cash, no rental agreement. I still won't want anybody to know I've
Pretend
got
it's
it.
not yours.
Yeah.
Just keep on walking.
Yeah, honestly. That's not my stupid car.
Who says that? Private Reg, what? Oh man, classic. Oh, so what's like like the big vision for yourself? Where do you see yourself in 5 or 10 years?
Well, I think I'll be living in the States. My fiance.
Seriously?
Yeah, my fiance is American. We're getting married at the end of the year.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. She's from New York, but a lot of family in San Diego as well. So we went out to San Diego. We've been out to New York. I love New York, but San Diego is like heaven on earth. Adriana really wants to live in the States. I'm really, really open to it. I love the place. So I see that as high potential. But like when it comes to like financial goals, I always had this goal from like a really young age, being obsessed with animals, that like I would have a lot of land, but it wasn't to be like capitalist. It was purely so I can have like tons of animals. Like I want like goats, and I want chickens, and I want like 30 rescue dogs from the kill shelters. Just like take them all in as your own. Adriana's a trained vet, so maybe she can do like the like diabetes medication for that dog and all that. So for me, I see that as sort of like a longer term vision on the monetary side. On the business side, it's just how many people can I work with effectively. Like I never want to jeopardize people's results by going out with what I can do, really, as in like time wise. So I've been in that position before where running SFN Expo and having 13 or 14 clients was too much. I realistically needed like 6 clients, and I was just working every hour. I was getting so like direct with my time and so like pretentious with my time that as soon as somebody got the result, I wasn't striving for more. I was just done, right, on to the next thing. And so it was how many clients could I work with, whereas now I think I've done it with the scalable product, with the 16-week digital marketing program, because I can speak to everybody at once on the live, and they can go through the program at their own pace, and it's all automated when they see the videos. So I think that's going to be something that can be like infinitely scalable. But if at any point I'm like, they need more of my time, at that point I would scale it back. So it's how many people can I work with. I don't really have any passion to work with large business. I've had the offer before to work with one pretty substantial business, but it's not my scene. The reason I do what I do, and it's really funny. Have you heard of Millionaire Success Secrets? Millionaire Success.
Yeah, that rings a bell.
The Dean Graziosi one. You've probably been hit with YouTube videos and Facebook videos and Instagram videos.
Totally, £7 a month.
7. Yep.
I know it.
I'm signed up. Man, it works. Right, but he's got this book, Millionaire Success Habits, and gives it away for free plus shipping. But I'm signed up to Audible, so I get like tokens every month for audiobooks. Like I love podcasts, I love audiobooks rather than physical books, because I can do it on commutes, I can listen to it at the gym. And it was weird. He had hit me with those adverts so much that I was like, right, I'm going to take a bit of a risk on this one, because typically these books are like Millionaire Success Habits, Millionaire Success Secrets. They're all just carbon copies of each other. And they're all things that you know, but most people just aren't doing. They're just fundamentals. Millionaires get up early. like all that stuff that everybody is so used to hearing. This book was insanely practical.
Right, okay.
From both a mindset, but also how you work with customers and how you run businesses. It's a really, really epic read. And I think it's like 43 success habits. So it's like broken down into like chunks of these are the individual things. And at one point he was talking about how he's got like a whole bunch of different masterminds, and the top one's £250,000 a year to be part of. But it doesn't matter if it's the low end one or the high end one. he gets everybody to do this thing, which is your 7 steps of why.
Okay.
And right, I was like, right, I'm listening, and I'm like driving between Inverness and Glasgow at the time, and he said that most people can tell you why they do what they do, and they're not lying when they tell you their reason. And it's usually something like providing for people, or I've been in this position before and I never want to go back to it. And it's something that is true, but there is a deeper meaning to be found there. And what he does is he'll ask you, why is it that you do what you do? Why do you get out of bed and do it? Why are you excited about it? And you'll tell him why you do what you do, and then he'll ask you to your answer why.
Yeah, why, And do that 7 layers of that.
Yeah, and he does 7 layers of it. And he says that between
Yeah.
number 5 and number 7, you'll come out with an emotional reason as you do why you do what you do, why you get excited about what you do. And man, what a realization point it was for me. It's more motivating for me than ever, because I've realized this within myself, is that for me, I was like, I do it for providing. Like, I watched my grandparents, I watched my mom and dad. Everything is about providing for other people. So that was sort of like ingrained in me. I thought that's what I was doing. I thought that was like exactly why I get out of bed, was to create businesses so I can provide for the program members, but also to provide for Adriana and family down the line. When I did this 7 steps of why, for me it was number 5 or number 6. I realized that the reason that I'm so motivated to work with small and medium-sized business owners is because I felt the disgusting pain of the first 2 years of running a large business, and you having to be all smiles and say everything's going great and it's all amazing and look at everything we're building, it's such a great thing. But really, you're fighting against invoices, and it's a brutal thing. You can't sleep because you're thinking about money. You're thinking about the things that are going wrong. You're thinking about what problems are going to come up tomorrow rather than what great opportunities are going to come up tomorrow. And I know that small business owners, even the ones that are doing really well, they are not where they want to be. And a lot of them, and like the suicide rates in business are ginormous, especially in sole traders. And so for me, it's great that I can provide people with real strategies, that I never share anything that's not tried and tested. That's my big thing as well, is if it isn't tried and tested by me personally, I don't share it. If I ever even mention it, I'll tell them where I got it from and say, I haven't tried it yet. It's always tried and tested, because I just want to show people the carbon copy of how to go and do it and make it really, really easy, like that Instagram poll method. So somebody can be a business owner, they can be struggling to get by, they can be struggling to pay their bills. I can put out a video that takes me 45 seconds to make, tell them how to do an Instagram poll strategy, and then they can go and make $2,000 that evening. Like, that's the type of stuff that like really, really gets me hyped up. And like to see people like send me like more emotional things of like how things have changed their life, man, it gets me so excited, especially because at this stage I still feel like I'm only working with a few people, and knowing that every single day the frequency of leads that come in for the program goes up, the frequency of people signing up per week goes up, and therefore, where's this going to be in like 4 years' time? How's it going to amplify people's results? How will it even amplify people's results having other people as a support network in this program together?
Totally.
So like, as things progress, it's only going to get stronger for everyone. It's a really exciting time. And that for me is just the whole reason as to why I do what I do, as it turns out.
Man. Totally.
Not that I knew.
Oh, that's a great answer. It's such a fascinating insight as well. I thought of that 7 layers of why type thing. I've thought about that for ages, and I don't know whether I've heard it somewhere or seen it somewhere, but yeah, it's an amazing exercise.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, you're right, can maybe tell you sort of like the first 2 or 3, but when you dig really, really down as to people's motivations for doing stuff, that's when it's
Yeah.
That's when you're at the core of it.
And you don't realize that it's not just providing you with a great story.
Mm.
Like, because people, like, when they read Simon Sinek's book, Start With Why, they think that their job is to come up with a why that sells products and services.
Yeah.
But when you do it, it gives you a whole other level of motivation when you realize what you're doing and why you're doing it.
Yes. Yeah.
It's a whole other level of motivation. And yeah, it just solidifies why you get out of bed in the morning.
Yeah.
That's it.
Man, I have to say your content looks phenomenal. It's really like polished. It looks great. How did you learn to do that? And what are some of the maybe the tools that you use to create your stuff?
Well, as everything, it was learning and implementation.
Yeah.
So I wanted to start creating video content. So I went to the people who I knew who already created video content, and I asked them, what do you use? How do you use it? Like, if I need to pay you for your time, I will do. I just want to be shown. I would see what other people on Instagram were doing with their videos, and then I would even just comment under the videos, what app do you use? And just get answers to different things. And so I very quickly got the answers to my questions. I knew what camera I should be using, like for like lower budget, like starting out, but you still want like a good camera.
What do you use?
It's like a Canon something DSLR.
Yeah. Okay.
But that with like the Rode mic on top initially was probably like a £400 investment or something, which was fine when I was creating a program that needed like crisp visual and audio at the same time. Like my podcast stuff, again, I went sort of like medium range, I guess. So like the microphone, Audio Technica, it was, I think it was maybe like £85-90 or something. So I still wanted it to be great audio, but it wasn't as good as the Joe Rogan-esque ones that you've got right here. This is the step down the line for me. But yeah, just asking people, and then it's just implementing, trial and error. Like if you even go back like 3 months into my videos, the production value is worse. My quality of speaking on camera is worse. That everything improves with every single video. And so it's just that same thing as being in the gym as it is being in front of camera. It's just reps. It's just doing it over and over again.
Man, even spending time with you today, I mean, I watched your, I was saying to you, Stephen Rowan, our mutual bud, I was watching, you were the first ever episode on his podcast.
Yeah.
Which was, I can't remember the specific date, but it was like, May 2016 or something like that. And just how you show up in life now compared to then is like, it's like a different person.
Yeah.
You know, your confidence, the way you articulate yourself, all of that is awesome. It's awesome to see that.
Well,
how you've evolved.
Yeah. Well, when I was creating the program, and the time on camera was maybe 6-7 months ago, something like that. Honestly, like if my fiance was here with you right now, she would tell you, I've got some of this backed up to like share like 2 or 3 years down the line. If it becomes like a huge success story of the program, etc., I've got some epic videos of just how terrible I was on camera, losing the plot, effing and blinding, screaming my head off, being like, why can't I get this? It's a 30-second video and I just can't get my words out. I know what I'm meant to be saying, but the pressure of having that camera switched on was a completely other beast.
It's horrible.
It takes reps, and you get better every single time. And so for me with like Stephen, like yourself, is like a great interviewer though. Like he made me feel so at ease, even though I was incredibly nervous to be on my first ever podcast and first ever time on camera. If that was me going and trying to speak to a camera for 2.5 hours 3 years ago, it just wouldn't have been happening. Probably would have got about 30 seconds of usable content.
That's all you need nowadays, mate, to be honest.
That's it.
Oh yeah. That's awesome. Awesome. Yeah, so in terms of like the specific, like the square videos on Instagram are always a big one. Do you create them on, is it like Premiere do you use for that, or do you do them on your phone, or is
I
this is becoming more and more of a thing?
Yeah, so I use Video Leap. It's
Oh
an
yeah, yeah, yeah.
incredible
Jamie
app.
Alderton uses that, I
Yep,
believe.
yep. So, and he's got a great
He's got a
program for
course
how
for
to
that.
use it.
Yeah.
I haven't actually been on it, but I actually do plan on using it, and just to learn like little tweaks and things that could be done a lot better. It's like $6.99 a month or something.
Yeah.
But if you're actively distributing content on a regular basis,
Mm-hmm.
it is
It's a
absolutely
no-brainer.
dynamite. The it's a big step up from what you can even do on iMovie on your laptop,
Uh-huh.
just below what you could do with like a Premiere Pro or
Final Cut.
Final Cut, something like that.
Mm.
So it's it's really detailed on what you can do with it. It's very, very user friendly, and you can also take one video. So I can speak to a camera,
Mm-hmm.
and I can instantly throw it onto my phone, and I can cut it up into all different types of shapes and things. So I can do the square image,
Yeah.
one button click and it's now rectangular, one button click now it's an Instagram story, but I can move it about. I can do
Yeah.
video in video. I can have a tracking bar going across it to say like how long's left until the end of the video,
See,
which
those things are really powerful.
yeah,
That's awesome. What about annotation? Do you add that manually?
like like the
Like,
subtitles.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I had those manually, and then I stopped doing them. And the reason why was like having the subtitles there increase video views. They
Yes.
actually do increase video views, and I'm very aware of that. But what I realized was every single time I put out a video, I got leads. Every single time. And so for me, instead of spending an hour
Yeah.
doing doing the subtitles, I realized that the real thing that was getting leads was getting more content out into the world.
Hmm.
And so for me, the quicker thing at the moment is to take away the subtitles and to just have a higher frequency of content going out. So I would be doing a video once every 3 or 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
Now I do a video every day because I don't need to spend an hour on each video doing subtitles.
Yes.
I've got so much more time.
Yeah.
So that's just like a really simple shift based on data,
Hmm.
or just realizing
Yes.
what was getting the end result. Like, is the end result to get a video view, or is the end result to get somebody to watch the video and then take action?
Well, that's it. I think like so many people are consumed by how many people are watching it, and that's a big part of it. But you're right. Ultimately, if you can get somebody to watch it and then do something, that's 10 times plus more powerful,
That's it.
exponentially more powerful.
Like having like 300 people watch every single video.
Yeah.
If it's the right 300 people and they're engaged,
Yeah.
that's a big audience.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
people want the tens of thousands of people watching them, and so they go to the extent of becoming an entertainment channel.
Mm-hmm.
And what you do when you become an entertainment channel is you entertain and you don't position yourself as an authority.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so like not many of my videos are ever going to go viral because they aren't like entertainment
Mm-hmm.
as such.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like they have the right people hooked.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a lot of people who like message me every single day. Like the same person will message me like daily about like my newest content that I've just put out, or my podcast, or something else that they've seen on my website.
Mm.
And so some people are like super highly engaged, but I know that's like a waiting game for them to go, now's the time that I join this program.
Hmm.
And so like every lead is an appreciating asset. And so when somebody like follows my page, I know that they're following because they are going to watch my videos, because I haven't got the blue tick. I haven't got an extra 4 stone of muscle on top of me and my top off all the time. It's not an entertainment channel. So
Yeah.
they are tuning in because they want to grow their business. Simple as that. And so every single follower that comes onto my account is somebody who is a potential program member in the near future.
Uh-huh.
And so I just need to deliver value day, and just wait for that lead to eventually come in.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
approach anybody. I never try and sell it. I just wait for the lead to come to me. If somebody messages me and says they're interested in the program and I tell them the price and they don't get back to me, I don't follow up.
I wasn't actually I wasn't going to ask you this, but I'm just going to ask you because whilst it's on my mind. So I dropped you a message via Facebook. It was via your public figure page or business page. And you have an automated responder. But then I got a message from it the other day to say that you had published a new episode of your podcast, and I think there was a YouTube video as well, and that here were the links to it. So do you message everyone that follows your page as a sort of mailing list style, like doing that?
Yeah, so I use ManyChat.
Okay, that's
So
awesome.
yeah, so
As soon as it came in, I was like, oh my god, I need to start doing that.
yeah,
This is super cool.
it's an absolute peach. And for anybody who's not using messenger bots, first of all, a lot easier than it sounds. And all you have to do is you go onto ManyChat and you can create a completely free account. And as soon as you sign in, it'll say which of the pages that you're admins on do you want to hook up to ManyChat, and you can hook them all up, or you can just hook up the specific page you were trying to hook up.
Right.
From there, even if you're not using any growth tactics, every single time somebody messages your page, they become a subscriber. And you can, for no money at all, in such a little amount of time, send them these automated messages that are personalized. It uses their first name.
Yeah.
It has different buttons that they can press that can go to different things. The buttons can also open up other avenues of conversation. So you could say, like, for instance, I could say, my new episode of the Shoney Show is out right now.
Yeah.
You can listen and watch below on iTunes, one button, YouTube, another, or ask a question. And if they hit ask a question, another message could come up that I've pre-written that says, great, can't wait to speak to you. Drop it below and I'll be back very soon. And just encourage them to start that dialogue.
Yeah.
It's an amazing tool.
That is so good.
And I think it's free up until something like 500 subscribers. So it's like it's an awesome tool.
So, but it only works if the person has approached you first. It's not just like a spam bot.
They need to message your page.
Okay.
So
yeah,
but you can
do something to encourage people to message you.
Yeah, so they've got all these different growth tools. Like you can create a link that opens up a conversation.
Yeah.
And when they click that link, you can put that link in your email. You can have it on your website. You could just send it to people in conversation. As soon as they click that link, it takes them straight to Facebook Messenger, and it prompts them with an opening message and a button to press.
Yeah.
So they don't need to message you. If they hit that button, that's a message sent and they're subscribed. So it's a really, really easy way to get subscribers.
Yeah, absolutely.
The one thing to watch with it is that a lot of people are going, why would I use email marketing when I can use messenger bots? It's easier to get a subscriber. The open rates are much higher, deliveries 100%, click-through rates are higher. So it makes all the sense in the world to put all your focus into messenger bots. The downside of that is that you don't own that list.
Yes.
Facebook changed their policy, it's done.
Yeah.
Email marketing, you own that list. If you've got the tick boxes, GDPR, etc. Blah, blah.
What would you say is the most effective way to grow an email list?
Email lists, probably the easiest way to grow it is competitions, but it doesn't mean it's the right people that join your list.
Yeah.
So it's that same thing as what we were talking about before about having the right people watching your videos.
Yeah.
With an email list, it's very easy to grow an email list if you're gonna put a £10,000 bundle together of like iPads and things that have nothing to do with your products and services, and get people to enter by giving you their email address. But if you are going to do it another way, there's a whole different bunch of things that work really well. First of all, getting your pop-up and exit pop-up on your website is a big one. Exit pop-up.
A lot of people aren't for pop-ups, but
yeah, and they think like themselves, so they think pop-ups are really annoying.
Yeah, it's like interruption marketing.
Yeah, so I don't want to annoy people with it, but you can have pop-ups that only show up after somebody gets halfway down your page, or if they've been on your site for over 2 minutes. And an exit pop-up is the one that I love. And like for my own email database and for a couple of my clients, the exit pop-up massively outweighs the amount of people that we get on the list. as opposed to the standard pop-up.
Hmm.
So I think when the standard pop-up comes up, people's initial thing is pop-up, close.
Yeah.
Whereas an exit pop-up is when somebody's just hovered over actually
Yeah.
leaving the site, it then engulfs the screen. It's really colorful, it's unmissable, and it just says something like, do you want to join the VIP list and get 2 emails a week with this, and this? Or if it's e-commerce, it might be first to get exclusive deals and discounts and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And it's such a low ask.
Mm-hmm.
They were probably considering purchasing from you. Even at a low level, they were like, this could be something that I could use or could be interested in. And then they've decided not to. So then when the email list opportunity is presented to them, then there is a really low ask to stay in touch with you and to almost allow themselves to see if they are truly interested in what it is that you sell down the line.
Mm-hmm.
That works incredibly well. And those are, again, through a lot of providers, free to put onto your website. Another big one is quizzes. So quizzes used to be something that were really difficult to like code and create and have on your website. Now there's a whole bunch of apps that you can use to create quizzes that might just be like 3 questions, and then you can point them in the direction of something, or it could be a fun quiz but related to your products and service. You see that on like a lot of like SaaS product websites now, where they say, see which tier would be right for you. Take the quiz. And so like they'll have like the basic, intermediate, and the pro options.
Yeah.
And it'll be like 5 questions to find out the right tier for you. And so you do it, but you put in your email address to start. That's like the start of the process.
Yeah.
And then they'll follow up with you afterwards if you don't actually purchase any of the products.
Oh, yeah, that's clever.
So like quizzes work well, competitions work well.
Ebooks and whatnot. Still as powerful, do you think?
Yeah, still work really well. But calling them ebooks doesn't work well anymore. calling them your book, like saying like download my book for free. A good strategy with that is put it on Amazon for like 3 days and at like £18.99, and like have an authentic image of it being on Amazon for £18.99. Give it away for free for an email address. Something like that can work really well. So incentivizing somebody to join the list. What
I've seen a lot. Sorry to interrupt you, dude. I've seen a lot of this. Do you know the Drake meme where he's like turning away to one thing, but then he's like this one? It's like, you know, £20 plus free shipping, and he's like nah, and like £10, you know, cost, and then £10 shipping. He's like nah, and it's like free book but £20 shipping, and he's like yeah, there we go. That's I've seen like so many people do that now. There was one, it might have been T. Harv Eker. It was like, get a copy of my free book. So I clicked onto it. I was like, oh, interesting. Yeah, £20 shipping. It was like, you're really?
They're all doing it now. All you have to do is handle the shipping, and then the shipping is so extortionate.
It's the cost of like 2 books.
Yeah, it's absolutely savage.
Oh, jeez. Clever. I mean, genius marketing.
Yeah.
It's clever as hell, but yeah, man. What's your favourite social media platform and why?
At the moment, it's Instagram.
Really, yeah?
Yeah, just because it's so engaging. Organically, it still works incredibly well. Stories, Instagram TV's working really well now. And then even when you relate it back to Facebook and Instagram adverts, there's stuff you can do with your organic account. So for instance, I can create an audience on Facebook ads of anybody who watched any of my videos in the last 365 days and follow up with them.
Yeah.
And I can be as specific as saying that they watched this specific video at least to 75% of the way through. So they're definitely engaged. It'll be a smaller audience, but I'm going to follow up with them with something specific. So it could be that I put out a 1-minute video about a Facebook ad strategy, and then I follow up with them with an opportunity to buy a Facebook ads template. So it's something very specific, and that's all come off of the back of organic free content. So Instagram's just got so many opportunities there. Instagram DM is incredible. I mean, the fact that I was speaking to Peter Sage today.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah. Like tag him in my Instagram stories because he had been on your show before.
Yeah.
And then he DMs me back, and then I start a dialogue with him, and we're chatting, and I said, "Are you going to be in London in 3 weeks' time?" And he's like, "No, I'm actually doing a TED talk over here, but I'm sure that we'll be able to catch up and do something with your show in the future." I'm like, cool. Like, being able to do
That's
that
amazing.
on Instagram DM
Yeah.
is insane. And Mark Zuckerberg said recently that if he had to start Facebook today, he would start with Messenger. So he wouldn't be starting Facebook, he'd be starting Messenger as a conversation platform.
Oh, wow.
And so you can see where conversations are going, and so many people in the program and further afield from the program, people who engage in my content are getting these incredible results with thousands and thousands of pounds, is all off the back of me pushing conversational marketing. So saying to them, look, you sell something that's not an impulse buy product. Instead of getting somebody to land on your sales page or go to your website, get them to start a conversation with you. So do a pitch, have a great image of somebody using your product, maybe even a testimonial video, but the call to action isn't to go to your website anymore.
Yeah.
It's to start a conversation with you. So it's like discuss now is the headline, and then the button is chat now. And it takes them directly to Messenger, and then they're discussing a £1,400 product. It's that type of thing, and it's so easy to close a conversation as opposed to trying to close somebody with a sales page where you're not involved in it. It's their attention span.
Yeah, totally.
Conversational marketing is absolutely ginormous, and that's why the Instagram poll method works.
Yeah.
Because you're just finding a way to create mass conversations around your product and service.
Yeah. So much value in this episode. I'm absolutely loving it. It's just like a masterclass in digital marketing. Like, you clearly know this stuff inside and out.
I just love it. Like, I love it. I love growing businesses. And I just see it as the easiest way to do so is using digital marketing. At the moment, anyway. Could change in the future. Somebody said to me, this was like a year ago or something, but it still makes me laugh, and I bring it up quite a lot, is somebody said that I must hate print advertising. And their reason was because I was the Facebook ads guy.
Yeah.
I was like, mate, I don't hate other forms of marketing. It's not like I want them to burn so digital marketing can work and I can make more sales as a result.
Yeah.
I like anything that brings in a customer at the price that you're willing to spend for a customer. So if that is paying students to stand outside your business and hand out flyers to people, and paying their wages gets you into sales that outweigh the results you're getting with Facebook ads at the moment, triple down and get them to stand outside your business every single day. Like that type of thing for me is marketing and its business growth.
Yeah.
So but digital marketing for me is just the easiest way to do so. And so I just stay in the game. I know at the moment I could just focus on the program. I don't need to have clients anymore. But for me, I'll never not have clients. Even in 20 years' time, I'll still have clients that I run their advertising accounts. I run their social media accounts, not staff, not like, even if I've got staff, it'll be me that runs some of the accounts from start to finish.
Seriously?
It's
you
impossible.
don't want to sort of VaynerMedia?
No, it's impossible for me to stay 100% relevant in a conversation like this if I'm not in the game. I've got to stay in the game, and I've got to be so varied. I mean, my clients range from like selling luxury flowers to selling radiators to selling event tickets to selling gym passes. It's so varied that I've got such a like breadth of data to be able to share. So instead of me saying conversational marketing works incredibly, everybody should be doing it, I can't really say that if I haven't tried it in different countries and tried it with different products and different price points. I need to have variation there. And so for me, like, it could hurt personal brand, but I kind of want the really challenging ones. Like I had a gym that I was generating leads for down in London, £600 a month gym. And when they came to me, I was like, right, this is a challenge. Getting somebody to sign up for a £600 a month gym. and it wasn't classes or anything. It was a gym membership, £600, and
How could they justify that?
Location.
Yeah.
And it was actually a really interesting gym to look at. So a lot of the equipment looked like it was, and it might actually be, but it looked like copper.
Right. Okay.
Right. So it was all like the gym equipment that you would typically see, but it was all copper. And so it was that type of thing. It was London, and we were getting them leads, like booked calls to discuss their membership at like £7.21 or something at scale, like getting them in like I don't know what it was in the end. It was like 50 a week or something, 50 calls a week.
Yeah.
And like, but it was like a learning curve with that type of thing as well. And here's the next learning curve is when I speak to the client and they're like, great leads, conversion rate wasn't high enough. As in, like, it was still very profitable because they could convert one person, and by the end of month one, they're already profitable with that spend. But there was still a lot of room. Like, they don't want to be making 50 calls a week if they're not high enough intent. So,
yes.
So here's the next thing that you look at in that situation. Okay, we want less people to actually book calls, but we want them so warm and ready and they know everything about it. So we started putting the price on the adverts. We started putting the price on the landing page. We even did it as a, before you hit submit, are you aware of the price? And so way less people would book the calls, but they were the right people.
Yeah.
So it's like, if I'm not in the game, I don't know how to tell people how to troubleshoot those things to see the result come out the other end. So it's like, it's really important that I stay in the game 100%. For as long as I'm going to tell people how to run their digital marketing, I can't just be like, yeah, I did digital marketing 4 or 5 years ago. Yeah, so I can tell you what to do today. Because everything changes all the time.
Where do you see things moving to then? What do you think are going to be future trends?
Conversational marketing, even more so.
Yeah.
Using messenger bots, starting conversations. I think that as things are getting a lot more automated, the companies that are doing really well with converting are the ones that are having real conversations. In the same way that, like, Amazon, would you say it's the biggest company in the world?
Yeah,
must be.
surely.
Yeah. They have, like, you go onto their help section, starts a conversation with a real person, and they seem like they're in no rush to move on from you. They want to just make sure you have a great experience, that they solve your problem for you. And if they can't solve the problem for you, it's a full refund. There's no questions. Like, if you said, my package never turned up, and they said, oh, well, the delivery person said that they delivered it at 11:57. The way that Amazon deal with that type of thing is not to try and catch you out.
Blame you.
It is, we are so sorry. We don't know what the delivery driver did wrong. Full refund.
Yeah.
That's just the way they deal with it.
Yeah. There was an item that my wife had bought recently. It was just like little checker things or whatever. It was like £3 or £4, something like that. And she didn't need them anymore. They were brand new, still packaged. Went to click on the return. You don't have to send them back to us. Here's your money.
Yeah.
Like, that is, like, how good is that?
It's incredible.
How good is that? It's just, it's amazing.
But look at what it creates.
Yeah.
Now we're having a conversation about how great a company they are.
Customer for life.
Yeah, exactly. It's
raving fan.
Every single time that you get a complaint within your business is an opportunity to create a super fan.
Yeah.
Every single time.
Yeah.
And some of the clients I've worked with before, where I was in charge of their actual social media accounts, and therefore I would reply to people. Whenever there was a complaint that came in, that was an opportunity. And it was always about giving them the absolute opposite of what they're expecting. They're looking for a refund. You're going to refund them, and then you're also going to offer them what they were looking for free.
Yeah.
Like the solution for free. And what you tend to find is that same person that might have posted on social media in a negative way goes straight back to social media to tell everybody how incredible you were at dealing with them.
Yeah.
And it turns them into super fans.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a great marketing tool to have some people annoyed with you.
I'll bear that in mind.
So everybody listening, if your product and service is excellent, you kind of you want to downgrade it a couple of notches,
Yeah.
just so that you can create some horrible people on social media that you can turn into super fans.
Oh, you need to watch your time, man. I don't want to keep you so you get a parking ticket. But just very quickly, I believe you've got an event coming up in Glasgow. Is that right?
Yeah, actually, as of tomorrow,
Yeah.
it is 1 month to go. So it's on 6th of July,
Mhm.
Crown Plaza. It's just 90 people in the room. Everybody has a table in front of them. So laptops out, phones out. It's very practical. There's 6 sessions across the day. It's similar to the program in a sense. Obviously, the program has a lot more accountability across the year, but we're looking at very, very highly actionable things. So one session is about 3 different email marketing strategies that will get you more leads and sales. The next one will be 7 Facebook ad strategies that you can deploy. Another one will be how to create more content in less time than you're already doing. So it's so varied across your whole digital marketing of your business. So yeah, I think it's going to be an absolute peach. We've got 53 tickets sold when we did the launch day like 3 weeks ago.
Brilliant.
I haven't done any promotion of it since then. To let you know, into my digital marketing strategy for the event, I always wait for, in this type of scenario, for things that create urgency. So my strategy starts tomorrow for 2 days, saying 1 month to go.
Okay.
Because nobody wants to take action in Scotland until something is right on the cusp of when they can get the value of their ticket price.
Yeah.
So there was the urgency of it being the launch day and getting like 45 tickets sold. Other ones have trickled in without having to do promotion. As soon as I do Facebook adverts to anybody who landed on the page but didn't buy a ticket, tomorrow, we'll sell a whole bunch of tickets tomorrow, and then anybody else that trickles in, if we've got any left, happy days. But yeah, so if anybody is in Glasgow or surrounding, we've got people actually from all over the place. I think we've got more tickets sold in Ireland and London than we do in Glasgow. It's a really strange thing. But this is what I mean about like who is watching your content.
Yeah.
Because I don't have anything on my account that tells anybody that I'm for a Glasgow audience. And so the audience is just people who want to grow their businesses.
Yeah.
And so maybe some people are like, 997 is too big a risk to me to join a program. And then they see this event comes up and it's just £97, so it's a tenth of the price. I can get flights and get hotels reasonably cheap and spend a whole day with them. Yeah, so it's a traveling crowd randomly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You a fan of using 7s? 97, 997?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just works. It's a really difficult thing to like get out of because it is so funny that like every digital marketer like sells stuff with like 97s. It's not 99, it's not 98, it's £97. And but it just works.
Yeah.
I have no idea why. The number 7 just converts.
Oh. Jeez. Mate, it's been honestly, it's been a blast having you. I've loved chatting with you. You've delivered insane value. I hope anyone watching or listening to this really, really enjoys the conversation. And yeah, I'd love to keep in touch.
Thanks so much, man.
It's
awesome.
a pleasure, dude.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh.